The greatest ideas have come from sitting on the toilet. Every day, some company, individual, or group is known for giving the public a load of bullshit. Come here to get your daily dose of shit by Alan Cousin. It's time you hear the shit everyone wants to know.
Good morning, Earth! Hope you don't mind Robin Williams. I just kind of want to, I always wanted to do that, by the way. So anyway, yeah. Happy Wednesday, everybody. It's your daily dose of shit with your host, Alan Cousin, founder of Get Up Radio Media. And today, I am here to talk about who knows what, right? Because you never know what I'm talking about. I mean, it could be something good, bad, poor. It could be funny. It could be great. It could be sad. Because, it's just whatever I think about while I'm taking a dump. I mean, you have to think about it, You're sitting there on the toilet. Can't really go anywhere. You have your smartphone, yeah, but some people might listen to music, it just depends on people are like reading a magazine or a newspaper or something. I mean, but basically you're sitting there on the toilet. There's not really a lot you can do other than, what you're doing. And then, while you're doing it, your brain's just kind of still active. So, anyway, what I thought about today while, sitting on my porcelain throne, I was reading the smartphone, reading the news, because of course, being part of the news, I get news constantly, from all over the world as it comes in. I get it basically, so it's interesting when you're the founder of a media broadcast, you kind of get to know things as soon as it happens. And today, of course, is Wednesday, and many people don't realize what Wednesday means, because, Wednesday is hump day, but Wednesday also is when the Federal Reserve tends to have a meeting, and Jerome Powell talks with other representatives and other heads of Federal Reserve organizations throughout the United States, and they try to work on improving finance in the United States. Well, of course, we are currently in a mild recession, as they have stated, a mild recession, not really in a recession. Really, they say we're possibly going into a recession. So we're possibly going into a recession. They're trying their best to make sure we don't go into a recession. That's what Mr. Jerome Powell, has stated, that he's going to do whatever it takes to help keep inflation from going up and helping us to not go into another recession like 2008 or, any of the other years that we had a recession. And, today he basically said, bringing down inflation is going to require measures that are not going to be popular at all. And he also said that he is not going to become a climate policy maker because his job is focused on finance, not on the climate and if it's changing. And he said that he's going to try to make moves that are going to stabilize prices, but are going to be very unpopular to the city, to the state, and to the nation itself and the people that live here. And he spoke so well that, the bank UBS in England said that based on his speaking, they feel like Jerome Powell was stating he can get the prices of inflation down and get the rates, the interest rates that we've been having increasing, basically almost every month, to get down back, into the 2.9% by July. And I was just, like I said, sitting on the toilet, just trying to get things done here, trying to move and groove, trying to squeeze, trying to get some boys in the pool, as they say. And I'm sorry, I just couldn't help but just bust out laughing. I was like, are you seriously kidding me? I mean, I want to say the other word, but I'm going to be nice and just say kidding me. Are you kidding me? You've told us already that it's going to be difficult to get this under control. You continually state that you are doing your best to make the economy right and to help focus on interest rates so that people can still keep some of their savings and retirement and so forth. And now you're telling us, after it's been almost, a year and a half, that it's going to be difficult, and, you're going to have to make some decisions that's not going to be very popular by others, and, these decisions will have to be made because you have to stop the inflation. And, it's like inflation is one of those roaches, like you think you have one roach, right? And you're like, oh my God, I got one roach. And you're like, I'm going to catch it. And, you're like, okay. And you keep trying to hit it and it gets away. And you keep trying to, and just can't get it and it keeps escaping, right? And one day you wake up and you see another roach and then you're like, okay. Then you kill that roach finally. You're like, okay, good. We're done. Roaches are going, right? But then the next day you see another roach. Then the next day another. And then before you know it, one day you wake up in the middle of the night, walk into the kitchen to get you a drink, and you see one roach on the floor. But it stares at you. It glares at you. It stops and looks, and its antennas are moving, shaking, and it makes this sound that you've never heard before. And then before you know it, there's roaches coming from all over the kitchen, and they're all heading towards you. That's what I feel like inflation is. Something where you think you can control it. You think it's small enough that you can handle it, but before you know it, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And because you didn't make the proper decisions that you knew were going to be unpopular before, you waited and waited. And now that it's getting out of hand, now you're going to make those decisions you could have made about a year ago, but you didn't. And you're going to make those decisions now. And then let us know it's going to be unpopular. Like telling corporations that they need to lay off people to help inflation prices go down. By helping manufacturers continually increase prices on eggs, produce, food, toys, car rentals, and everything else, Even though we don't have an increase in our salary, we don't have a major raise. Now, they gave us a COLA increase, but the COLA increase didn't cover the inflation increase. See? I mean, he gave us about 7.5 to 8% increase in COLA, cost of living, right, adjustment. But the inflation is currently at 10 to 11%. So you helped us, but you still got us in a losing battle there, And then this is what gets me. See, this is how I look at the situation. A man or a woman must walk in one's shoes in order to justifiably understand how one is feeling, so that one can better understand the need and necessary want to make a proper resolution for a current problem. So what I'm saying is, unless you are being affected by the situation, are you really going to work hard in order to make the situation go away? Or are you just going to nibble at it like a little rat eating cheese and, try to make it better, but not really give your whole, full 100% into it? And the reason I say that is because here we are, right, having the Federal Reserve, which is not a government agency. That in itself scares me, right? Should scare you. So it's a profitable agency, profitable bank that supports all the banks in the United States and loans money to our federal government. So our federal government is paying the Federal Reserve, which is not a government agency, money for the money that they are getting loaned out to them. I don't know about you, but that sounds really confusing. Like, wait, why is our government borrowing money from a bank that's not government owned, but yet has the image to make people believe it's government owned? Sounds like a magic trick to me, or maybe even more so a hocus pocus, or even maybe an illusion and delusion to keep us guessing and wondering. What do you think? That's what I'm thinking. And the whole, we're trying to help. We're trying to make things better. We're going to do everything we can to eliminate and lower inflation so we can stop this madness of this possible recession that we know we can stop, because it's not going to happen. It's not going to occur. It will not be another 2008 or worse. No. Don't you worry. We're going to take care of you, because you know what? You're Americans, and we are here to protect our country. Now, at that time right now, I would want to have this whole, patriotism and all, but let me just be honest with you. Can I say bullshit, BS? Stop the lies. We all know, anybody out there who's logical, anyone who's paying attention knows it's not going to stop. It's like Jason or Freddy Krueger. The harder you hit, the more they come. It's like Hellraiser. It looks bad, but the closer you get, you find out it's worse than you thought it was before. And it is. It's horrible. Money is getting tighter and tighter. A year ago, you probably had $500 in the bank and didn't even have to touch it. Now, you can't keep a fucking $10 bill in the bank. And you have to buy groceries. You have to buy groceries because you have to eat. You have to buy gas because you have to drive. You have to pay for electricity and gas and heat because you have to use it. And they're going up on it every single month without hesitation. But guess what? Jerome Powell of the Federal Reserve is going to be your superhero. He's going to save the day. He's going to make sure that everybody's okay, because he's going to do whatever it takes to make sure and save America from the next possible recession. You know, it's kind of hard for me to believe that. And do you want to know why? I mean, do you really want to understand why I just don't fully believe that Jerome Powell is on my side. Do you? Well, you know what? I think you probably do. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you why I think Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve, though they say they're doing everything they can to help strengthen America and increase the economy and boost it and stop this opportunity of horrific, horrible recession. I don't believe them because, first of all, Jerome Powell makes $203,500 a year. Okay, so I'm going to say that one more time for you, okay? Jerome Powell makes $203,500 a year. Now, let's say we take out taxes, right? Even if we take out taxes, he's still bringing home $6,200 a month. Actually, I'm sorry, $12,000 a month. So, sorry, I apologize, my math. So even if you take out taxes, Mr. Jerome Powell is still bringing home $12,400 a month. Now, I don't know about you, but there's not a lot of us out there in America right now making $12,400 a month. And let's say you are making $12,400 a month. Depending on where you're living, it could be very good, it could be okay, or it could be nonchalant. But either way, that's what he's bringing home. Whether he makes a good decision, a mediocre decision, or a bad decision, he's still bringing that amount of money home every month. And as of 2019, Jerome Powell was worth a range between $20 to $55 million. Now, this is the thing about that. If you notice, I said, because I'm with the press, so I get to get insight on individuals. But you notice I said, as of 2019, Jerome Powell's net worth was estimated to be a range between $20 million and $55 million. The reason is because Jerome Powell has his money in so many accounts and spreads it around that it's very difficult to actually get a close, clean review of how much he really has as far as assets, because he's working with the Federal Reserve. So he has, what I would say, some protections that causes it to be difficult to investigate and find out information about him, being that he is working as head of the board of the Federal Reserve. But let's say he owns 20 million. Let's say he doesn't have to 55. He has 20 million. $20 million in assets, bringing home $12,400 a month. Do you really think the economy and the possible recession and the inflation costs are affecting him? Do you think that he has to wonder how he's going to spend enough money to go buy groceries? Do you think that he is trying to realize how he can save enough to have gas so he can get to and from work? Do you think that he is sitting down trying to calculate how he's going to pay his electric bill and gas bill and water and heating bill? I mean, do you? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say that he's probably doing quite well, and if anything, someone is just paying it for him. He's not even looking at the checkbook. He's not managing the funds. He's not doing what they call a renewal budget, because you have to find a way to save more money. So you have to like look at the books and make some changes, maybe cut some expenses. I don't think Jerome Powell has to worry about that like most of us do. Do you? But, like I said, he's really trying hard. He's working very hard, America. Very hard indeed. To help fight this possible recession. Fight this everlasting increasement of inflation costs and taxes. He's fighting for us, America. He's fighting to take it all away so we can live a grand life because, he's a patriot. He's an American. He lives for the American dream, and he has to take care of his people, right? Yeah. That's what he's all about, right? I mean, he's probably staying up late nights, leaving the job, going home, and still thinking and working at home because it's just that important to him, right? Because he knows that there's kids out there that they're not eating right now. He knows that there's elderly that's not getting their vitamins or even getting their prescriptions right now, right? He knows that there's people out there that can't pay their home right now and might have a foreclosure, right? He knows that, right? He knows that there's people that's behind on their electric bill and they're paying in payments and their credit card is increasing with APR increases to the point where now that they don't know how to even pay their credit card and pay their bills because they're having increases from all over. He knows that, right? He understands that, right? He knows that there are people out there depending on him, relying on him to do his job because they need him to do it because their life literally depends on it. Literally. He knows that, right? He understands. He sees that, right? In his nice community, right? The pain, the suffering, the anguish, the loss of hope. Oh yeah, I'm sure he's thinking all about that, right? Because he's going to be that superhero. He's going to save the day, and he's going to make sure that we don't have to suffer in the end, right? Yeah, sure. Because there's people out there, I know, I see you, I hear you, and I'm praying for you. Because you need to eat. You need a place to stay, to sleep. You need clothing. You need heat. You need electricity. You need gas. You need a vehicle. You need your children fed. You need them to still keep going to school. You need them to have the money for books, school, education. You need to be able to keep your house running and fix your car when it breaks or your heater when it breaks or anything that just pops up, unfortunately, because maintenance does happen and sometimes you will have a rainy day or two, right? You need your prescriptions for health care, for anxiety, for depression, for bipolar, for asthma. You need these things. You think Jerome Powell knows that you need these things? You think Jerome Powell's thinking about all of the Americans and individual citizens out there who need these things, and he has to save the world so that they can actually keep getting these things, or maybe start getting them again because now they can't afford these things? You think he's thinking about that? Working hard, earn hours to save the day? Because let me tell you, from where I'm sitting, I don't think he is. And from where I'm sitting, It's not, are we going to have a recession? We're already in a recession. We've been in a recession since May of last year. We're just going through phases because we haven't bottomed out yet. And we're going to bottom out. And I'm giving it May 31st myself. Could be May. I'm giving it March 31st myself, but it could be May. But anyway, when it does happen, and it will happen, I'm seeing a 1929 repeat of recession history, but I see it being even worse than 1929. Yes, I said that. Even worse than 1929. I see people in poverty lines, welfare lines. I see financial closures, foreclosures. I see 100,000s, if not millions, out of a job, unemployed. I see people stealing from each other, people fending from each other, people afraid, people kicked out of their homes, people living in their cars. I see the government having to find a way to actually help provide food and financial assistance because so many will be out of work that they will have to help these people. And I see it not affecting just the poor. I see it not just affecting the middle class. I see it even affecting the rich this time. This inflation is like a code. It doesn't care what gender you are. It doesn't care what race you are. And it sure doesn't care how much money you bring to the table or what your financial classification is. It's going to hit you no matter what. It's like a hurricane. It's going to take you down with it. And it's going to enjoy doing it slowly and make you believe that when you think it's all over, it's going to come for a second round and a third round until you realize you don't even want to get up because you're afraid if you do, it's going to come again. I see the S&P 500 at 2,500. I see Bitcoin at 6,500. Dogecoin at 1 cent. And that's just a little bit of what I see. Ethereum at $150. I see people losing their homes, losing their cars, repossessions amass. I see people with no money in the bank. I see people buying guns to protect themselves from those who are robbing them because they have nothing, so they have nothing to lose. So they're going to come after you and get your stuff. I see a civil war amongst brothers, but a civil war that we've never been through, a financial civil war. And I see it coming very soon. As I said, March 31st is my take, but it may be May. So either way, March 31st, May 31st, but it's coming. So are you ready? Can you prepare? Are you even able to prepare? Because guess what? If you're relying on Jerome Powell to save the day, if you're relying on Jerome Powell to be an Albert Einstein, or, one of those people that actually work really hard until they find the answer, if you're thinking that Jerome Powell is going to be that individual, then you might as well stop thinking. Because guess what? Jerome Powell gets paid whether or not you do. Jerome Powell gets paid whether or not you lose your job or your home or lose your life savings. Jerome Powell still gets a check. And Jerome Powell still keeps a job. Even if you lose yours. Even if he tells companies to take your job and banks to take your homes and your cars, he still gets to keep his job, his home, his cars. A bit scary, don't you think? When you really sit down and think about it, the person that we're relying on is most likely going to take what we have and lose nothing in return, and simply say 2 words: I'm sorry. Let me try again. Think about that, America. Think about that long and hard. And prepare. Prepare if you can. Save if you can. Stop spending money. Start saving money. Try to cut those expenses. You still have a chance. Do it now while you still can. This is Alan Cousin, Get Up Radio and Get Up Radio Media, giving you your daily dose of shit today on Wednesday, January 11th, 2023. And before I leave, I'm going to play a song. And I'm going to play the song because I want to let you know that I hear you, America. I feel you, America. I see you, America. So I want you to know that this song is my way of saying, I see you. I hear you. And I'm praying for you. Because unlike Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve and many others in that circle, I actually have a heart and care about you. So let's play the song, shall we? So you can know how people are feeling right now. And you probably are one of those people. But now you'll know that I know how you feel because I'm playing this song. Because I do see you. And I do hear you. And I want to help you.
Just the sum of every high and every low.
that's just me playing a song to let you know that though they keep saying they're going to help you, they keep saying they're going to save you, they keep saying, don't worry, you can trust us. I believe in you. I know what you're going through. Don't give up. You can survive. You will survive. You shall survive. But prepare yourself. Prepare yourself for what's coming. Because it is coming. No matter what they say, it's coming. And it's going to come harder than you've ever felt. 2008 was not a great year. We still remember it. 1929, we've heard so many stories about it. 2023 is going to make 1929 feel like everything was okay. Prepare and understand. I see you. I hear you. I believe in you. And I'm here for you. Email me at letstalk@getupradio.com. Call me if you want to be on the show, if you want to talk on the show, if you want to let me know what you're going through so others can know the pain that is happening, because those people don't live in that area. Those people don't see those things, and therefore if they don't see it, it doesn't exist. But guess what? It exists. It exists. It exists, and it keeps on getting bigger, and no one is paying attention to it because they feel like if they don't see it, if they turn away from it, it's okay because it doesn't exist. I see it. I look at it. I pay attention to it, and it's only getting worse. But I see you. I hear you. And I pray for you. And do you know why? Do you know why? So I believe, and I hope you believe me, and I hope that you start saving, and that you don't listen to what they're telling you about. They're going to protect you and save you and help you. No, you need to save yourself, protect yourself now, and start helping yourself now, because you are going to need every ounce of strength, every penny, every support possible to survive what is going to be the most historical crash ever in the United States since the United States has been created. You heard it from me here first. You heard it from me as I thought about it while taking a dump on my toilet, but yet crying, not from the pain of my dump, crying from the thoughts of you out there and what you're going through. God bless us all.
Thanks for listening to your daily dose of shit talk show. If you have some insights, questions, or information of bullshit to pass on, please email us at momentousevents@aol.com. Make sure to come back daily to hear some new shit about money, business, life, and who knows what else as I take a dump on the toilet.